This is CBC Winnipeg News.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. Work has been halted at a landfill north of Winnipeg tonight as calls to search for human remains grow louder. This as the daughters of homicide victim Morgan Harris, one of the women whose remains could be in that landfill, call for the resignation of Winnipeg's police chief. CBC's Alana Cole begins our coverage.
I'd like to introduce the next speaker, Cambria Harris.
Powerful words from a grieving daughter.
We saw this happen with residential schools, and here you are, once again, creating unmarked graves of Indigenous peoples. That's wrong, and it needs to end. I'm angry. I am so angry, and I hope my people are too.
Cambria Harris's mother, Morgan Harris, is one of 4 Indigenous women police believe were killed by Jeremy Skibicki. Today in Ottawa, Cambria, her sister and First Nations leaders called for Winnipeg Police Chief Danny Smythe to step down. This just days after police explained why they aren't searching for the remains of Harris and another victim, Mercedes Myron, at the Prairie Green landfill, despite believing they're there.
And these women deserve respect and recognition instead of being forgotten by the people of society. Being forgotten by our nation.
Police didn't respond to this call, but at a news conference Tuesday, Winnipeg police disclosed why the decision was made not to search. They say there's no way to know where to start, that the remains would be buried under heavy construction clay and thousands of loads of debris, and asbestos and poisonous gases would make it unsafe.
To me, the message you are sending to the greater community, to the non-Indigenous community, is that Indigenous women don't matter.
Wilson says the technology to search exists. She says so does the ability to bring experts together to figure out a plan to do it. Alana Cole, CBC News, Winnipeg.
Premier Heather Stephenson and Mayor Scott Gillingham spoke about searching that landfill today. They aren't committing to a search yet, but are talking about the feasibility of one.
Really, it's to determine what the next steps may be. And that gives officials time to determine those next steps. I'm grateful that the arm of Rosser and the operator of that site have been reached and are certainly willing to assist in any way.
Gillingham met today with 3 Indigenous leaders asking for a pause on that work, which Waste Connections of Canada complied. The chair of the Winnipeg Police Board and the mayor met with the police chief and senior inspectors tonight. We expect to hear more on that tomorrow. Now, the news this week has been a lot to handle. Stories like these can be triggering. There are several phone lines you can call if you need support, including 211. You can also call Laychuk at 204-594-6500 or Manitoba Kiwatinawi Okamakinak at 1-800-442-0488 or 204-677-1648. You'll find both of these numbers on our website at cbc.ca/Manitoba. To some other news of the day now. One person is in hospital after a shooting in the Spence neighborhood this afternoon. Police tape surrounded a home in the 200 block of Yonge Street. A man was taken to hospital in stable condition. Another man is in custody. A landmark in Rennie, Manitoba, on the edge of the White Shell, has burned to the ground. Fire broke out in the Rennie Hotel around 2:30 this morning. The hotel was closed at the time and no one was hurt. Premier Heather Stephenson issued her State of the Province address today. It was a little bit more partisan than it usually is, as she implored a Chamber of Commerce crowd to re-elect the Progressive Conservatives next year.
So there is a choice to be made, folks, and I'm confident that Manitobans will make the right choice next year. The right choice for our families and the right choice for the future of this great province of ours.
Stephenson couldn't make any announcements there today because there is a blackout on announcements while the by-election is underway in Kirkfield Park. Voters in Kirkfield Park will head to the polls next Tuesday, December the 13th. 4 candidates are vying for the seat in the legislature. You can find an in-depth look at the constituency and the candidates on our website at cbc.ca/Manitoba or on the CBC News app. Somalia is facing what could be the worst famine its people have ever seen. That has Somalian Manitobans trying to raise awareness about how dire the situation is. 5 rainy seasons in a row have led to crop failure, and now an estimated 1.3 million children under the age of 5 are suffering from acute malnutrition. Abdi Ahmed is a Somalian Winnipegger. He says people are suffering.
I had a woman who walked with her kids, 6 kids, for 18 days and lost 3 of the children on the way, and said she found many other kids who died on the way and people leaving their kids.
Ahmed says livestock are also running out of pasture land and water, meaning many families have also lost their livelihoods. The Brandon Wheat Kings usually get attention for their feats on the ice, but it was what some members did off the ice that is making news. 4 players came to the aid of a man who is experiencing mental distress on Brandon's First Street Bridge. Marjorie Dowhouse spoke with one of the players. Here's a bit of that conversation.
It was easy to tell that things weren't going great for him, and he was having some pretty tough thoughts. And we noticed a lot of other cars were driving by, not doing much about the scenes. I rolled down my window and asked if he was okay, and he informed me that things weren't going great for him, and his lifestyle wasn't great. And so that's when I got out of the car and I asked if we could get him any help, and he agreed. And once I said that, you could kind of see the relief on his face and the relax in his body, knowing that he had someone to care for him and to help him. And from that point on, he was relaxed and things were easier for him. The first responders got there in a hurry. It felt like maybe 15 to 20 minutes, but in reality, I think it was maybe only 5. They did a great job of getting there in a hurry and taking control of the situation.
You can see more on that story on our CBC Manitoba YouTube page. A look at downtown Winnipeg tonight, a much warmer day today. Your forecast is next when we come back.
This weather update is brought to you by Capital Ford Lincoln. 22 model clear-out is on now.
Welcome back. Well, let's take a look at our wake-up temperatures as we head into your Friday. Waking up to around -15 across southern Manitoba. Still quite cold in the north. We'll see temperatures rise as we get through the evening tonight into the early part of tomorrow. But look at tomorrow afternoon. Warm conditions, single-digit highs across southern Manitoba, -6 in Winnipeg by mid-afternoon. Still a little bit on the chilly side through northern Manitoba, but certainly a lot nicer than it was earlier in the week for sure. So we'll start the day tomorrow under a mix of sun and cloud. More cloud than sun, but we will see some sunny breaks, especially into the afternoon as we get into the afternoon tomorrow. As we head into Saturday, though, we do see another weak disturbance moving through. This could bring us some flurries early in the morning on Saturday. More snow, though, toward northwestern Ontario as we head Saturday into Sunday. Look at your 7-day forecast now. -8 tomorrow afternoon under a mix of sun and cloud. Could see some flurries Saturday through Sunday. Then as we get through the later part of next week, we see the potential for some more snow through Tuesday and Wednesday. Temperatures also look like they're going to be up around the freezing mark into next week. And that is your late news for this Thursday. Thanks for being with us. We'll see you tomorrow. Have a good night.